Okay, let's get started. So, hi everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Rafi Shulman. I'm the co-founder of Olim Advisors. It's a pleasure to have you here today. As you can imagine, today is a tough day to host a webinar. We were debating whether or not we should host it, but we decided to go ahead and do it because we're resilient people. We really feel that the show must go on, as they say. And I know that there are a lot of people that are looking for information, they're looking for guidance, they're looking for advice. And it's our pleasure to be able to provide you with that information and the encouragement. So, sit tight, and we have a lot of great information that we want to share with you. I just want to take a moment and just introduce you to the people that are joining us, and just thank you for your time. So we have Mayor Castro, who's a resident of Ra'anana, as well as employee of Olim Advisors, and then Yifat and Zachary Middleman, who are also residents of Ra'anana, and we had helped them a few years ago make Aliyah, so it's good to see you guys. And then we have Dov Wiener and Yair Greenberg from Adi Capital, who are the developers who are building the Mophet project that we're going to showcase tonight. So thanks everyone for joining. We appreciate it. Please God, we don't have any sirens, so we'll just go as we'll go through the presentation. If we do, then of course I'm sure you'll understand. We'll have to end it, but we will send out a recording and we'll send out the information. We'll make sure that you get it. Okay, so we have people really who have joined from around the world, and for those of you who are joining from Israel, from outside, I want to again welcome you. I also know that a lot of people aren't able to join, and so I want to encourage you to share the recording. We'll send you an email within the next couple of days, and I want to just encourage you to share the information with anybody else who needs help in making Aliyah, in buying a home in Israel. We're happy to help everybody. Before we get started, just a few quick things. First of all, we will have our contact information at the end. So I really want to encourage you to reach out to us. We recognize that in a webinar like this, we can't get into everybody's specific situation and the goals and challenges. And so we really want to encourage you to reach out to us, and we'll reach out to you. Let's have those one-on-one conversations where we can really get into it and figure out how we can help you. We'll do a Q&A session at the end. So if you have any questions throughout the webinar, just go ahead and type your questions into the Q&A box, and we'll get to it towards the end. Okay. So before we get started with the webinar, I just wanted to share with you just briefly about Olim Advisors, who we are and why we're hosting these webinars. And so if we go back in time, if we go back to 2016, about 10 years ago, we recognized that making Aliyah was challenging. It was daunting for a lot of people that had this dream of making Aliyah, but they just didn't know how to go about doing it. And unfortunately, a lot of people said, you know what, maybe I'll make Aliyah later. Maybe I just won't make Aliyah at all. So my sister and I decided to form Olim Advisors and provide a very personalized service where we pair each one of our Olim, whether it's an individual, a couple, a family, with your own dedicated advisor who will guide you through the whole process, whether it's from the early stages of just thinking if you should make Aliyah, all the way to when and how, and communities and projects and what you should bring and what you should do. Then the second part is that we provide you with the support when you go to all the different government offices. Your advisor will make the appointments and will go with you and just provide you with ongoing support so that you feel like you have somebody to turn to who can guide you through the process. As we were doing this, a lot of people were reaching out to us and asking us questions about buying a home in Israel, whether it was people who hadn't made Aliyah yet, or maybe it was Anglos who were living here, people that were looking to buy a home for vacation or for investment. And they were asking us to explain the market, right? The real estate market in Israel is very different from the States and UK and Australia. And they wanted us to explain it to them. And the other thing is, people were very concerned about being taken advantage of, about working with the right people. And so what we did is we offered a very personalized service as well that guides people through the entire process, from helping them figure out which communities, helping them decide if they should buy a new property, a secondhand property, should they take out a mortgage, what they should do. So that's the first part. And then the second part is really introducing them to our network of companies and professionals that we very carefully have chosen, people who will take care of you and people who will guide you through the process. And really, so at the end of the day, the message that I'm trying to convey to you is, don't feel like you need to go through this journey by yourself. Reach out to us. We can save you a lot of time. We can save you a lot of aggravation. And in some cases, we can also save you a lot of money. We have access to partnerships like Adi Capital. And through these partnerships, we're able to get our audience access to properties before they're even marketed, and in some cases at significant discounts. So just know we're here to help, and we're happy to talk to you. With that, I'd like to just share the presentation so we can get started. Okay. Does everyone see? Do you see the presentation? Yeah, it's good. Okay, great. So we're going to start off with just general tips about buying a home in Israel. Whether you're living abroad or you live in Israel, we want to share with you some tips that will help you through this process. So the first thing is choosing a community that suits your needs. And in our experience, that's probably the most important factor in making Aliyah and settling in Israel. You want to find a community that meet your needs. Whether you want to be in an Anglo community like Ra'anana or like Modi'in or like Ramat Bet Shemesh, or maybe you want to be in a mixed community like Rehovot or Nahariya, Rishon, Ashkelon. These days, there's so many different options, so many different choices, and we really encourage people to spend the time, to spend the effort to look through the communities. Do you want to live by the beach? Do you want to live in the center of town? Do you want to live in more of a religious community, more of a secular community? There are a lot of options, and it's really important that you take the time to figure out what's important to you, right? And if you're coming with kids, you also want to look at schools. You want to really think about what your lifestyle will look like when you make Aliyah. So the first tip is really thinking through the community. That's probably going to be the biggest factor in your lifestyle here in Israel. The next thing is making a wish list of things that you're looking for, right? Again, recognize that your life is going to be different, whether you're coming from the States, from Australia, from the UK. It's going to be a different lifestyle, but it doesn't mean that you have to give up on things that you're looking for, right? If you're looking for more of an urban city, or if you're looking for a city that is up north, or maybe you want to be down south, make a wish list of all the things that you want and prioritize them, right? Because at a certain point, you're going to realize that you're not going to find a community or you're not going to find a property that matches with everything that you're looking for. So by prioritizing them, you can say, okay, well, you know what? I found a community or I found an apartment that matches most of what I need, and then that's good enough. And so you need to figure out what you're looking for, and you need to figure out what's important. You know, if you're looking to buy a property, do you want, like we said, a new property that will be ready in a few years? Do you want a 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom? Do you want a high floor or low floor? All of these things are important things to consider and really think through as you go through the journey. The next tip is to have a budget in mind. And it's really important because a lot of people would love to live in Jerusalem or would love to live in Tel Aviv, but they just can't afford it. And so to save your time, to save energy, you want to really think about what your budget is. And this is comprised of two parts to the budget. The first part is your down payment. So if you're a foreigner, if you're living outside of Israel, you have to put down 50%, and then you can take out a mortgage of 50%. So you have to put down at least 50%. If you're an Israeli resident, you can put down as little as 25%. So that's the first part that you have to think about is how much can you put down, right? Now, if you're buying something that's new, and we'll talk about in a moment, you might be able to put down even less initially, and that's one of the benefits of buying on paper. The other part of the budget is what will your monthly payments look like, right? And you need to really go through this exercise to make sure that you can afford the property that you're looking for, right? And we can put you in touch with a mortgage advisor who can go through the calculations with you and figure out what you can put down as a down payment and what you can put down, what you can pay on an ongoing basis. The next tip, the next thing to keep in mind is if you don't have to move soon, in other words, if you don't have to buy something now and move within the next few months, then you should consider looking at what we call on paper options. What this means is buying something off the blueprint, something that either isn't built yet or is just in the early stages of being built. And there are a few benefits to this. The first thing is you're locking in a price. So let's say you're looking at an apartment that right now costs 3 million shekel, let's say $1 million, right? What you do is, in essence, you lock in the price and you say, okay, I'm going to buy this apartment for $1 million, but you only have to put down, typically it's 20% of the price of the apartment now, and the rest you pay as the apartment's being completed. And what you've done is you've locked in the price at say $1 million, and as the building's being completed and as the real estate values keep rising, you have locked in this $1 million price. And when the building is ready in 3 or 4 years from now, in all likelihood, it's going to be worth a lot more money. So from a financial point of view, buying on paper, it has a big benefit. The other advantage is that you have more access to apartments. So the sooner you speak to a developer, the more options you have. Maybe you want the penthouse or the garden apartment. Maybe you want an apartment with a sukkah balcony. So if you talk to the developer, if you're looking to buy on paper, it will give you access to more apartments. Now, you do want to make sure that you're talking to reputable developers, right? The one risk or the one concern that people have is what happens if they go ahead and they put the money down and then the company goes out of business. And that's why it's so important for you to work with companies like Adi Capital, who are reputable, who are banked by a bank, who are backed by a bank, so that you know that your investment is safe. Okay. The next thing is that you need to move quickly. And what I found is a lot of times people don't realize how quickly things get sold, especially if you're buying an apartment or a house in a good location that's priced well, or in a good project. You have to be ready to move quickly. And so what you can do is have all your ducks in order. And what I mean by that is you want to make sure that you have a real estate lawyer in mind. So they can help you review the documents. You want to make sure that you know how you're going to transfer the funds to Israel, and you want to have that out of the ways. So you want to, and if you're taking a mortgage, you want to have, you want to have the mortgage approval. You want to have the process in place. So that way, when you do see something that you like, you can put in an offer and you can move quickly. And the last point, the last tip I want to mention is take advantage of limited time deal terms. What you'll find, there are some developers who are offering either better terms, payments, certain amenities. And if you're a buyer, you want to look for these opportunities. You want to look for these benefits because it can really make a big difference. And Yair, in a few moments, is going to talk about some of these limited time benefits, these terms that Adi Capital is offering to buyers who are interested in buying this project. Okay, so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mayor, who's going to talk about Ra'anana.
Thank you, Rafi. Hello, everyone. So, as Rafi was saying, we made Aliyah from Mexico almost 6 years ago, a little bit more. And to be honest, we arrived to Ra'anana, as we say in Hebrew, b'mikre, randomly. It was a whole story that I'm not going to share now, but we arrived here in times of COVID, Corona. It was not our Corona actually delayed our plans, and as we arrived, uh, we we thought we were going to be a couple of months in Ranana, and we've been here 6 years, and we are very happy. We decided to stay in Ranana because as we arrived, we very quickly for Jenny, my wife, and for myself, education was very important for Sharon and Eyal, our daughter and son. And Ranana has a very good education uh, system, the different schools, and we find that very important. We find also very important that they are most of the schools very used to receive Olim. Of course, Anglos specifically, but we have French, we have Argentinian, Brazilian, Mexican. Every now and then we also hear some Hebrew as well. So it's been a very good decision to stay because of education, because it's an Olim friendly municipality. It's a secure community. It's a clean community. And another thing that we really liked is that it's a very uh, tolerant community. We have a very good observant communities, and we are very happy uh, for being here. So the other thing is that, as Rafi was saying, is that uh, I collaborate with Olim Advisors, which is another one of the best decisions I've made. I have the really privilege to be collaborating with Rafi and Lara, and every day I'm more grateful and blessed. And we see what we want to do for our clients. And of course, we try to provide every client what they need. In my experience, yeah, I always kind of joke, but every family that I get to advise kind of makes sense to recommend living in Ra'anana. So I'm always laughing with them that it's not that I'm trying to bring everyone to Ra'anana, but truly, yeah, I never see any flaw on that decision. My experience helping clients that move to Ra'anana, it's pretty much the same. Most of them, if not all, uh, if they decided to move somewhere else, it was never because of Ranana. And actually, I can only think of probably one person that needed to go back to their original place, not because of the decisions or because of Ranana, whether it's schools, communities, Bet Knesset, shuls, etc. And if I need to add something else, I found a very good community here. There are some Mexicans, but I have a lot of Anglo friends. So each community is very strong, but at the same time, we feel very united as from being from Ranana. And adding to that, I had the possibility to know a little bit more about the Mofet project, and I honestly can say I I myself I'm thinking still to see if we will have the possibility to buy there because it's really one of a kind project. I've never seen something like that. Not only in Ranana, in a lot of places in Israel. The the way that I saw that they put the interesting details and the luxury. I don't want to speak what probably Yair is going to speak, but honestly, there's nothing like that. It's a very well located. The common areas, the amenities, all of what it is there, it's amazing. So I'm pretty confident that if you decide to make Aliyah, the two things that you need to do first is be happy, decide to do it as Jews, this is our place. Second, call Olim Advisors. And third, try to buy with the Mofet project. Thank you,
Great.
Rafi.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to move over to Zach and Yifat. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Rafi, how are you?
Good. Thank God. Thanks for joining.
No problem. I'm Zach Yifat. We've been living in Renana now for 4 years. Um, we decided to move here. Well, I always wanted to move here. My Israeli wife didn't necessarily want to at first. And one day during COVID, she finally agreed and said, if you can get a job and move to Israel, I'll go. 6 months later, we were here. We had at the time a 16-year-old daughter, a 12-year-old son, and twin 9-year-olds. We were coming from Great Neck, New York, and we were coming during COVID. So when we were thinking about locations to be, we really needed to find something where I could figure out where my family could land successfully, be happy, not want to run back to America from in order to make the journey as successful as possible. Um, we did that. I remember talking about Olim Advisors when I arrived to Israel. It was really during COVID, and I was landing, I think, on a Sunday, and I had to have all my documentation done for starting a job the week later, which is during COVID, almost every single office in Israel is closed. There's no appointments. And somehow between Rafi and Lara, they were able to get me all of my documentation done, completed within that first week, so that I was able to start my job on that following Sunday. So I can't say anything. They were amazing the entire time. Till today, we talk, and till today, anytime we need any advice, we still go to them. So really big shout out to Rafi and Lara. We could not have done this without them. They were just incredible. Seriously, best decision we made coming here. I think, I love, so since we've been here, our kids, we've made a lot of really, really good friends. The community and a huge Anglo community immediately kind of brought you in. And by the first week I was here, I was already having kiddushes on Friday, in before Shabbos and Shabboses, and it was just incredible. And my kids made friends pretty much right away. A couple of my kids it took longer for, so just be prepared. Some kids do take longer than others. Sometimes it's not the ones you expect. You expect one of the other kids to be it. But I could say at this point in time, all of my kids are thrilled, love living here. Um, Ra'anana is a great city. It really is. It kind of gives you a feeling of a city as well as a suburb. You kind of have that feel of a little bit of both, which is great. Amazing food, amazing restaurants, amazing shuls, great people. But I think what Rafi said at the beginning is really true. You have to figure out where you fit in. I would say where you really feel like that's your people and your community, because that's in the end what makes it. Doesn't matter whether it's a city or state, whatever it is, it's always going to be the people and making sure that you fit in to that kind of area, and it kind of follows the way your thoughts. Just a couple things I think are good, proper expectation settings. I think a lot of people come here and think everything is just going to either be one way or the other. And I think it's important to realize that if you're choosing to move, and hopefully you all are, you're moving to a new place, new culture. Embrace the culture here. Don't try to recreate your old culture from where you came from, because it's never good to compare. The culture here is amazing. And once you really embrace it and start experiencing it instead of trying to compare all the time, you will be so much happier and thrilled. The other thing I will say is schools are a little different here. So, like, if you expect schools to be like yeshivas in New York, they're not. But I think Dan Senor said it best. This country is really about bringing the kids up in a way that they believe in something bigger, to serve a common goal, and to really grow into being mature kids. And when I look at my kids here now versus what they would have been if they were in America, or the kids coming out of college versus the kids who you see here, who are gearing up for the army, like my son's gearing up for his first tests in a month, you realize that it's the greatest decision you can make for your kids ever. And the kids really, they grow up, they have freedoms that you couldn't imagine, but they really grow up to really understand a lot better than some of the other places in the world. So other than that, I think, we love it. I don't, until one day I can have a farm in the north, while I still have to work it close to the center, I will be here.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay. So now I'd like to introduce you to Dov, who's going to talk to you about Adi Capital, and then Yair's going to take over and give us a virtual tour of the project.
Zach, I'm looking for land up north, so I'll keep you posted.
Promise.
No, I know. Anyway, so nice to have everyone here. Dov Wiener, CEO of Adi Capital. I made Aliyah 11 years ago from TNEC. Usually I dive right into the business aspects of everything, but given where we are today, most importantly, I have two sons fighting right now, both in Givati. One who's a sniper who did 2 years in Gaza and thought he was getting out in 4 days and now is up north. And my second guy just drafted, and so he's on base down south. So I always say, no matter what we accomplish here at Adi, they've already surpassed me. Just super proud of them. So just praying that we get this done and get it done quickly. Anyway, okay, so I started Adi 7 years ago, primarily partnering with some of the largest developers in the country. Those are our partners still to today. So partners on Givat Shmuel, 84 units, 24,000 meters of office space, 114 units in Petah Tikva, logistics in Alfei Menashe with Rothstein, Ra'anana with Yuvalim. Then 2 years ago, we got a big break. We bought 50% of a large Pinoi Binui urban renewal company in Jerusalem, where we're building 15,000 units. And then what really changed for us is in the last 6 months, we decided to open up, a separate department to also market as well some of our luxury projects. And I think everyone on this panel has touched upon the reason we did that is, when I came here, I wish I got to meet Rafi. Unfortunately, it was just recently, but I suffered. Having banked at JP Morgan my whole life and then walking into Leumi and dealing with that disaster, it was very, very stressful. So we've taken, a bunch of our projects and trying to give people that A to Z concierge service that Rafi is now providing. And so it's a unique partnership that we're super excited to have.
Great. Yair, you want to take over now and
Yeah,
share your
give me
screen?
the option to share.
Yeah, I'm going to stop sharing on my end here, and then you should be able to take over on your end. There you go.
Hey everybody, nice to meet you. My name is Yair Greenberg. I'm the COO of Adi Capital. I'm going to show you now the Mophet project. So this is the two buildings here. The street name over here is Eliezer Yafe. Over here is building A. Over here is building B. Right over here, from the right side, that's Achuza. What separates us from Achuza, it's one small building over here. We have in the project 176 units. The balconies that you see over here, like this, and over here like this, are sukkah balconies. The first floor is a commercial. And we have a few special units on the first floor because they have a balcony, a sukkah balcony that's facing outside of the building and inside of the building. When we go inside, over here is building A, building B. Well, when we enter building A, for example, we entered another commercial area that looks like this, okay? This is the floor plan of the first floor. So all of the gray that you see here is commercial. We're not going to sell the commercial. We're going to keep it for ourselves. We're going to make it like a one-stop shop. We're going to choose the renters. We're going to make it very luxury. Not going to be a falafel or shawarma. We're gonna make it like very unique, very special. Maybe a boutique bakery, cosmetic center. So when we go inside from here, from building A, for example, we can walk around and enjoy the inside commercial area and go to building B, where there is also a commercial area and city's place. We have in the project, we have 8 lobbies, we have 16 elevators. All of the beige that you see over here, this is the lobbies. So each lobby has 2 elevators. One elevator is gonna be always for Shabbat, okay? So we did it to keep a boutique building, even though we have 176 units. When you go to your own floor, you have about 4 to 5 apartments in each floor, okay? So from the inside, it looks like this. The sky is open, so all the balconies over here on the first floor are also sukkah balconies, okay? Over here is the entrance to the wellness center. This is the pathway between the buildings. Over here is building B, over here is building A. That's another example of a sukkah balcony. And over here is a view from building B to building A. This is the entrance to the wellness center. Over here, you see high ceiling. When you go inside, we go from here, when you see the blue color. Over here, we have bathroom and showers. We have another elevator that serves only this floor and the floor above. Over here, we have wet sauna, dry sauna. Over here, we can go outside to beautiful cabina beds like hotel. And inside, we have the swimming pool, almost half Olympic, from here, from this point to this point, about 22 meters. We have inside seating areas and a jacuzzi. The designer of this floor, the floor above, and the inside commercial area is the designer of the hotel here in Israel, the Six Senses. Very, very high-end designer office. So it looks like this. This is the pool. Over here is the inside sitting area. Over here is the jacuzzi. We can see the gym is from here above. Over here is a yoga Pilates room. And over here, the windows that you see from the right, these are sliding doors. So even though the pool is inside, we can still open them and enjoy the sun, the air, and everything. This is the wet sauna. Over here is the dry sauna. And this is the beds outside. And over here is the second floor. We go out of the elevator over here. We have a yoga Pilates room. Over here, the green spot you see over here, this is the massage room. We have a beautiful big gym, almost 120 meters with changing rooms and lockers. Over here, we did a residence club, 62, 63 meters with beautiful 2 tables for holiday, Shabbat, and small events that the residents of the building can enjoy and book the room. Over here, we did a business lounge with a meeting room, wine fridge, whiskey fridge, tables that are more suitable for people that want to come and open the computer, sitting areas, balcony, and over here is the cinema room. So it's gonna look like this. This is the yoga Pilates room, facing outside the beds and the inside pool. This is the massage room over here. This is the gym. So the gym has 2 views, one to the inside commercial area and one to the pool. This is the residence club with the 2 big tables for Shabbat holidays and small events. And this is the business lounge. Over here is the balcony. Over here is the meeting room. And this is the cinema room. So the apartments, we have 2 to 5 room and penthouse. We have 8 lobbies like this, like I explained before. One is going to be Maalit Shabbat. The apartment's going to come very high-end. The floor tile is going to be 120, 120. You're going to have a few options of colors, of course. An option to do a parquet, okay? The kitchens are going to be one of the 2 companies here in Israel, the top companies, Avivi or Ekba, or maybe a European company. We didn't close anything yet, but it's going to be the premium level kitchen with the marble and everything. The VRF system, the AC system is going to be VRF with control in every room. And the balconies are loaded balconies. And we have penthouse. 2 of them have elevator that goes in directly to the apartment. And they come also with an outside jacuzzi and outside kitchen. So this is about the project, and over here is about us, like we Dov explained, and our partners. Any questions?
So we'll get the questions in a moment. Here, let me just take over here. I just want to
Okay.
just share just a couple more slides, and then we'll get to the Q&A session. So thank you for presenting. You want to talk about the limited time terms here?
Yeah, so now we have terms that you can put only 20% down payment with no interest, no madad, and no contract loan, developer loan. And the plus side now that everybody that's gonna buy now, they can redesign their apartment as they like. That's a plus that usually costs more money with developers.
Right. Okay, great. To just wrap up before we get to the questions, we offer a lot of resources, so I just wanted to mention it. We have tips about making Aliyah in real estate. We have Facebook group. We have a couple of WhatsApp groups. So if you want to get any of these resources, just simply send me an email, and I'll be happy to send you the tips or give you the login information for the different groups that we have. Now, the next step, like we said at the beginning, really is up to you. You know, we can present the information and we can help you and guide you, but we want to encourage you to reach out to us. If you're thinking about making Aliyah, if you have questions about the project, you can reach out to me. Shoshi Gently is also working with us. She works with Adi Capital and she's the realtor on the project. So Shoshi and I work together, and you just need to send us an email. You can WhatsApp us. You can let us know when you're available, and we'll be happy to schedule a call and really dive into the details, really understand what you're looking for, and answer the questions that you have. Okay, so now we'll just open up some questions here. One question is about, let me actually just stop sharing it for a moment so I can see the questions. Okay. So there's a question here about just a presentation. So yeah, we are recording it and we'll send out a recording so you can share it. And then here there's a question about garden apartments. They want to know if there are any garden apartments.
So we don't have garden apartments. The apartments on the first floor, they're like garden apartments because they have big balconies and they're on the first floor.
Okay. And then in terms of shuls, what shuls are in the area there that people can walk to?
You have OLRE, which is about 12 minutes. It's KLJ, which is about 7 minutes. And then there are a couple of like Stieblach, which are like within 2 to 3 minutes from there.
So you have your options. Depending on who has a better kiddush, you can decide where to go.
No, Renata's got their PSK. People know about that. Yeah, that's famous.
How do you know about our PSK?
Oh, hey, you have no idea. I know well.
Very
We
good.
match you in Modin. Not as well,
Ah,
but close, close.
close.
Then there's a question about sizes and prices. So here, maybe if you can just give people a general, I know there's different floor types, I mean apartment sizes and different types, but if you can just give people a general sense of apartment sizes for the different bedroom, 2 bedrooms and how many square meters and
Yeah,
the
you can
starting
go
prices.
up from Rafi. You can go up from 2 bedroom from 60 meters all the way to penthouses that are 200. And for anyone who's interested, Yair will be happy to send layouts of all of them. Lots of different examples for lots of different room types, but it's a really, really good range.
Okay, excellent. Um, They want to know what kind of people are coming to the area, and maybe Mayor and Zach, you can also talk about the community. Because one of the nice things about this project, it's not a new neighborhood. It's a project that is being built in an area that's built already. So to Mayor and Zach, and of course Dov and Yair, if you can talk about the makeup of the community so people have a sense of who the neighbors might be, that'd be helpful.
Zach, you
So
wanna start? I'll be happy.
Sure.
But
So I'll just say I think Renata is really a makeup of everything. I don't think that in Renana you could say, well, it's only this type, or I'm used to this type or this type. I think that's probably one of the most unique things about Renana is you can find from a Haredi type of community and people to a complete secular type of people on the other side. Um, I think everybody finds where and then even within Dati Lumi, which is like what I am, even with us, then you have your different groups. I think I will say that I think a lot of people here have made Aliyah. And I think that because of that, you have a community of people who really have all gone through it, are all looking to help the next person forward to it. Um, and really, everybody kind of sticks together here and helps each other out. And I think from anywhere in the world you are, I could tell you PSK, which is mentioned earlier, which is a free Shabbat drink, is meaning I can't even tell you all the different places of the world and different types of people we have of all different types of how religious they are, all coming together on a Friday afternoon to have a l'chaim before Shabbat. So just That's the best way I could describe it.
Great.
I wanted to add, Rafi, and I'm happy that you asked, because when I was speaking, I forgot to mention that I truly believe that one of, if not all, what Yair just presented, the location of the Mofet project is pretty much the center of Ra'anana, in a very privileged terrain or land. So you are close to everything of all the shows that you mentioned, and also you have a very good access to the transportation system. If you don't want to drive a lot, you are less than a minute in Ahuza, which is the main street. So it's very, very well located.
Very wonderful. What about schools? Do you guys know which schools are within walking distance of the project?
You have many schools. You have Yavne. You have I forgot the name, but one it's in front of the municipality.
Your
It's like a primary school. Sorry, Zach.
your Bilu, you have
Bill.
Ariel, you have they're all. I don't think. The other thing I'll say is, even if it's not, it's within a couple of minutes of each other. And a lot of times, if one school you don't like, you can kind of switch to another school whenever you want. Told you it's very unique in the system here, but plenty of good schools.
Okay, great. Yeah, can you just go over there's a question about the sukkah balconies. So you mentioned that there are a few different types of apartments that have sukkah balconies, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
All of the apartments that are facing Eliezer Yafe has sukkah balconies, and the apartments on the first floor, because the inside commercial area is open to the sky, so they have also sukkah balconies. Yeah.
That's very cool. I've never seen that before. Where it's kind of, if you've been on a cruise ship, it's kind of like when those rooms that have the balconies overlooking the middle. So I think that's a very cool aspect to
Yeah.
this project. There's a question here about schools again, about Haredi schools for girls, American style yeshivas. Are you familiar with some schools that might fit this profile?
So, so Haredi style schools, there are Haredi, um, both girls and boys schools in Renana. I have friends who send their kids there, and they are very happy with them. Very happy with them. What was the other question?
No, they're just asking what type of Haredi schools do they have available for girls from American style yeshivot?
So look, I think you have to be realistic that if you're thinking of an American style yeshiva, it could also very dramatically between what's considered a yeshiva style. So I come from the modern Orthodox, so Ramaz kind of was where I went, North Shore Hebrew Academies. There is something similar here, which would be the King Solomon School, I would say, but really depends what you're looking on. That's a private school. I don't believe it's very religious, so it's not going to serve Haredi. Um, I think that's one thing people you have to understand. The schools here are different, and you're not going to get the same math and science. They are very focused on, which is key. But somehow all the kids are successful, and I think again, I'll go back to Dan Senour's book. I'd encourage anybody to read it, The Genius of Israel. But he says they build you up for that the army puts the rest together, and makes everything happen. So we seem to be doing okay in education here.
I agree. There's a question here in Dov about the monthly homeowners association, the Vada Bayit, the homeowner association, and the Arnonas. Can you just tell people approximately what you think that will be?
Yeah, so with all the facilities, it's not an exact science until the building's ready, even though we're like deep into the underground parking. But like all our like indications is 20 shekel a meter. So you're looking at, let's say, for a nice size apartment, it'll be around, five, 600 bucks a month, which for all the facilities we think is, well
Well,
priced.
worth it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, there's a question about if there are any about 4 and 5 bedroom apartments. Are there any apartments that size left? 4 and 5
Yeah,
bedroom?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll tell you. Here's the nice thing. It's been a unique, like, quiet. This has just been. We've been on the market for 4 months. Out of the 176, 30 have sold. But what's unique to Israel, I would say, and Mayor and Zachary will certainly attest to this. Usually, the smaller apartments go first. Here, it's been the 5 and 6 rooms, people appreciating the amenities. So of course we have a bunch left, but it's been those. It's been the ones in the pre-sale that have gone the quickest have been the Mirpasot, Sukkah, the larger apartments for people either who want to come for Sukkot, summer, Pesach, or just, with everything that's going on in the world, want to hedge their bet. So that's what they've taken. So the larger apartments have come first, but of course we have plenty left.
Okay. And when will it be ready? When will the building be ready?
It'll be ready in maximum 4 years, and we're hoping a little less.
Okay, great. There's a couple questions about prices. Do you want to give some price ranges now, or do you prefer to handle kind of on a one-on-one basis based on what people are looking for?
Yeah, based off of what people look for, Yair will break it down, and Shoshi will do that for them, easily give them a bunch of options. I think that's easier.
Okay, sure. And then there's a question, it seems like maybe from a developer who's asking what was the reason behind the commercial lobby if it depreciates the prices of a residential building? I wanted to know why'd you decide to do it differently than, I guess, other developers who, don't have this kind of setup?
In what sense? Why would it depreciate? Explain it again.
Well, the question here is, what is the reason for having a commercial lobby that normally depreciates the prices of a residential building? So maybe that's not the case.
I'll tell you. No. I'll tell you. It's actually nice. We give it a lot of thought. What's really cool. This is a building in Ra'anana that doesn't exist and will never exist. Ra'anana doesn't have projects like this where you have, instead of 23 floors, it's 8 floors and has a pool, gym, spa, and all the commercial. What we wanted to create was an oasis for people where they don't really need to leave the complex and the building. So yes, we could have kept it residential, but we wanted to provide that high-end coffee or dinner at the end if people want to go just downstairs, for sure.
Okay, that makes sense. And they went to another cross street with the Chuza, so it's Eliezer Yaffe. It's literally like a 2-3 minute walk from a Chuza. It's not on the
30
corner, but a little bit inwards. But
30 seconds.
yeah, 30 seconds. Okay, let's see. We still have a few minutes left. Let's see if there are any other questions that have come up. Okay.
Rafi, you still have the best office I've ever seen. That view.
It's always sunny. Sunny in Jerusalem.
Amen.
Okay, I think that we've covered everything. So, again, I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. We'll definitely be in touch with you. We want to make sure that you get all the information, all the questions that you asked. So, be on the lookout for an email. We'll send you an email with the recording. Feel free to share it. Feel free to ask us questions. And most importantly, just pray for peace and pray for all our soldiers. And Bezrat Hashem, things will go well and we can get back to our routine. So be well, everybody. Have a Shavua Tov. Chag Purim Sameach. Enjoy. We'll speak to you soon. Take care.
Thank you, Rafi.
Thank you, Rafi. Chag Sameach.